Hey guys, this is the podcast of K Jade, and today I'll be talking about my creative process. I'll be answering a few questions today about it. This is for my creative process class that I'm taking this semester. The first question is, what have I learned about my creative process this semester? So, I have learned that sometimes I just gotta throw stuff out there and then play around with what it is. Like, I throw it out there and then I see how different ways I can do it, or different directions I can do it, or who I will, if it's, because this is a trio dance, so maybe not everybody's doing it, maybe only one person's doing it, or maybe everybody's doing it, but everybody has their own little twist to it, which adds different elements and dynamics to my choreography, instead of just thinking, oh, this is the choreography, let's just do it all the way through. So I try to add a lot of different elements that we talked about, such as canons, repetition, play with timing, so that it can be something interesting to watch and not just I'm looking at it because it's in front of my face. Something that actually draws in the viewer. Question number 2. How has my approach to choreography changed or deepened? I think my approach to choreography has changed because I think a lot of times in the past I was trying to be very strict about my choreography. Like, oh, let me think of what I want to go exactly right here. Let me think of, I have to fill in these gaps. I have to do this in this order. I want it to look exactly like this. Whereas now I'm trying to just go with the flow. Because a lot of the times, especially during this process that I was thinking about when I was in choreography, when I was in rehearsal and we were ready to move on to the next section of choreography, and I felt stuck. I was just like, I just did something. And then I was like, let me see how that will look on my dancers. So then I told them, oh, do this. Instead of showing them, I wanted to see how they interpreted what I said. So I said, I thought of something and I did it to see how it felt. And then I would say, okay, do this. And then I would see how it looks like with them together, how they each did it. And then I would say, okay, further instructions, corrections, showing them what I actually want, instead of being stuck the whole day thinking, oh, no, I don't want to do this because I don't know if it'll look right, or, oh, I don't know what to do for this next section. I just did something. Question number 3. What role does storytelling, memory, culture, or identity play in your work now? My work is very big on storytelling. I loved watching movies, reading, coming up with stories as a kid, acting with my friends. So I think that's a big reason why I like storytelling when it comes to choreography, and even musicals. Now I've gotten deep into musicals. As I stated in previously, Lin-Manuel Miranda is one of my biggest inspirations. So I think that's partially why I tap into the storytelling aspect of choreography the most. In that storytelling, I try to pull from my personal identity and my personal perspective. So for this specific piece, it doesn't necessarily have to do with my identity, but it's a reflection of my perspective on the world. I do not relate at all to, to this trio, but I think that this is how I see a lot of specifically leaders in the world and a lot of people who have a platform. Question number 4. How did the CRP feedback process impact your development? So the CRP process helped me realize that my choreography, it has potential, but it's not really telling my story yet. And I think that is because my dancers don't really know the full intention behind the dance, and they haven't connected with it yet, which I am trying to find the words to tell them. I have told them, but I also didn't really dive deep or really tell them how to embody the vibe. I've started saying certain movements, but my next step will be to help them embody that manic, creepy, dark essence that I have previously stated is my perspective of the world. Question number 5. Reflect on one artist from your class or any artist. How have they influenced you? From this class discussion, Camille A. Brown personally influenced me the most, probably because she has developed such a distinct style of her own, which is what I've been trying to do. And we talked about how even though it may change settings, whether that be Broadway, concert, or whatever else, it's still her. It's still Camille A. Brown. And she doesn't do it for anybody else. She does it for the sake of the craft. And I think that's so beautiful because even when I try to do it for myself, I think I get caught up in perfectionism. So a lot of times I think of that whole let go and let God, because it's like at the end of the day, you gotta put something out there or else nothing's gonna get done. Ultimately, from her, I learned to keep creating until I find that spark that I feel is authentically me. What's one creative question or challenge you're still sitting with? Wow. I think that I'm trying to find the me in this choreography and in my process. Like, how do I see myself reflected? Even though, like I said, this isn't this trio specifically isn't a reflection of my identity, I still want to know that I made this and nobody else could have made this dance. Number 7. Where do you imagine your voice as a dance artist going next? I see myself creating full ballets, full films, and full ballets to be shown across the world. If that's dreaming big, then I'll take that dreaming big. But I want to create full-length stories, not just one dance, something that is you're gonna sit through and you're gonna go home and you're gonna be like, wow, that was a good story. As if you just watched a movie. I want to create that. Yeah. But I want to produce, direct, and choreograph. Multiple ballets throughout the rest of my artistry and throughout the rest of my career. I can use the tools that I've learned here, and even some of the choreography that I've done here, and make it into whatever my wildest dreams are in the future. I hope you enjoyed this podcast entry and that you come back for more, excited to see my progress the next time. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you next time.